What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. We are live. It is Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, depending on where you are watching from. Regardless, it's Wednesday. We're live. Gage Kilborn on the ones and twos. My name is Joey Petersen, and we're so happy that you are here with us. We got an awesome show ahead, some great content for each and every one of you, starting off with a Baltimore versus Minnesota preview. Ravens, Vikings in U.S. Bank Stadium this Sunday is going to be a really, really fun one. And a game that means a ton to both of those teams. Minnesota still trying to make some way in a loaded NFC North. And the Baltimore Ravens trying to make up some way on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then, of course, last up on today's show is going to be our live Ravens mailbags. Your questions, my answers. It's the best part of the week. It's the best part of my week. Should be the best part of your week as well. Speaking of this week, as we know, the trade deadline happened yesterday. We were live for that as well. 2 live shows in a row, Gage. We're absolutely crushing it. Do you think that the Ravens should have traded for Quinnen Williams? That was a very hot name going into the trade deadline. The Dallas Cowboys were the one who ended up pulling the trigger, sending a first-round pick in 2027, a second-round pick in 2026, and Mozzie Smith to the New York Jets. In return, they got Quinnen Williams. Do you think the Ravens should have traded for him? I put this as my live poll. And right now, I said, would you have traded a first and second round pick for Quinnen Williams? 62% say yes. 38% say no. So right now, the majority lies in the yes. And with that, we're going to bring on our producer of today's show, Mr. Gage Kilborn. Gage, what are your thoughts, my good friend?
I'd say this is the first decision they had to make. This was the move that the Ravens had to make this week during the trade deadline, because going into it they needed defensive tackle, and Quinnen Williams was the defensive tackle that was on the trade block time and time again, and you knew the Jets were selling. I mean, it was obvious the Jets were selling this year, and yeah, they asked for a pretty high amount of picks, like a first rounder and a second rounder, but they got it. And I think Eric DeCosta should have been a little bit risky, because if you want to have a team to build to try to win a Super Bowl, you have to take those risks. And seeing them not taking that risk has me concerned going into the future.
Yeah, I just don't want to look back on this whole thing and be like, man, maybe if we would have just taken a little bit bigger of a shot, taken a little bit bigger of a risk at a trade deadline, maybe things could be different. But I totally agree. And not just because, let's face it, and I said this all day yesterday, and I think I might have even said it on our video we put out this morning. Your second best interior defensive lineman is Brent Urban. Guys, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Plain and simple. You need more. You need better. You need to play in ISPeobles more, but you also could have used a guy like Quinnen Williams. I get it. A first and a second rounder. Those are pretty big prices to pay. I think it's worth it for Q. I think he's one of the best interior, if not the best interior defensive lineman in the game. I think right now, Jeffrey Simmons probably at 1. I think Quinnen Williams at 2. I think that's pretty much it.
I agree. And the other part that I think needs to be mentioned is that defensive line is so young that having a veteran defensive tackle like Quinnen Williams there, who's been in the league for a few years, he can help not only improve the defense just by him being there, but can also help impact the team when he leaves, too.
Yeah. Well, and also, think about this. A lot of people are like, hey, Joey, the edge rushers need to be better. Well, having a guy like Quinnen Williams in your interior is going to help your edge rushers be better, because he's going to take up more double teams. That's just who he is. His double team rate is 41%, the highest among all defensive tackles in football. And so that would help your edge rushers be a lot better. I got to say hi to some of the people we've got hanging out with us right now. We got Let's Go Ravens saying yes. Tiara saying yes. Nashman Rice saying 100% should have been aggressive. Jake saying Michael Pierce, please unretire. Would that not be awesome? Attendance squad already asking, #Ravens. Henry is starting to pick up his pace, especially with the card back. How many yards and touchdowns will the King get against the Vikings? That's the big question. The Vikings do a lot good defensively, but easily their biggest flaw is their run defense. So hopefully we'll see King Henry have a big day. Speaking of a big day, we're already having one here. Herman J. Mortimer coming with a $5 super chat. That's why teams like Miami continue to suck, unlike Baltimore, who take the initiative and take action. Yeah, Herman, I would have loved to see, Baltimore take a little bit more action at the trade deadline. But hey, I said going into it, they need an edge rusher. They got an edge rusher in Dre'Mont Jones, and I'm really, really happy with that. So can't be too upset when they did partly what I asked them to. Can't complain too much that they didn't do 100% what I asked them to. That seems a little bit greedy. We got Declan in here. I honestly think we're so shallow with DT, but we just cannot give up that much for him because I just don't think we could have kept him for long term. Well, you would have had him for 2 years at the least. So that sounds pretty good to me. I believe the 2 years after this year as well. So the rest of the season and then the 2 seasons beyond. Papa says, bro, I think Mike Gray is about to go off and Lamar is healthy. Now, I hope so, man. Whitney Dang saying, hope the Commanders beat the Lions and we beat the Vikings, Joey. Me too, Whitney. We got 619 Cali Factor in here. Attendance squad. Joey, can you guess when I made my first appearance on Ravens Rundown? Was it with Tom or Tyler? Let me know. Declan says, I can 100% see us being 6-5 for Thanksgiving against the Bengals. I'll be at that game. I'm so hyped. Declan, that's awesome, man. I am jealous. That's going to be a really, really fun one. That's going to be awesome. You're going to be there. We're going to be here on the Ravens Rundown for that one. Which trade is your favorite? Let me know down below. I should have put this one as a live poll. But, hey, the top live poll is getting a lot of votes right now. It's leaning more towards no as we continue to go on. It's still up at yes, but no is kind of making a little bit of a comeback. Which was your favorite trade? Trading for Dre'Mont Jones, trading away Jair Alexander, or trading away for Gilman? Let me know down below. Type that JAG Gauge. Of those 3 trades, which one is your favorite, my friend?
I have to say that my favorite had to have been trading away Jair Alexander. I know it may seem kind of like a hot takey one a little bit, but I really like that they added more cap space to try to play around with and try to have more flexibility going into this upcoming offseason to see what could happen in the future. I know that they're probably not thinking of the future, but I kind of like that they were able to free up some more cap space going into this trade deadline in case anything pursued.
Yeah. We got Attendance Squad type in G, Chef Spicy type in G, TLMs type in G, and I agree. I thought trading away for Gilman has been such a massive, massive boost to this defense. Not necessarily for what Alohi Gilman does, although he's been great. I'm not going to shame Alohi Gilman. I'm not going to say he's been bad. But what he does, the addition to him to this defense, it allows Kyle Hamilton to kind of be more free-flowing. You could put him up in the box. You could put him on the defensive line. You could put him in the slot. You could put him at linebacker. You're able to put him anywhere, and that, in my opinion, has been what has helped this defense have such a massive improvement. Showtime Entertainment saying A. Tiara saying G. Also, Attendance Squad saying, I actually joined later. It's Thursday Night Football game versus the Bengals in 2024. That one was electric. One of my favorite games last season. That was a good one. Antonio Darby typing A. Chifa YZ typing J. They want more cap space. Now they have $15 million in cap left over. Yeah, because of all the cap space they have, I would expect to see some kind of extensions coming soon. If you want to get on the show, like Attendance Squad already has, make sure to use Ravens, hashtag Ravens, in the chat or super chat to get on today's Q&A. If you super chat your question, it guarantees its way on the show. But if you use hashtag Ravens, that's going to give yourself a good shot. So any question you got, hashtag Ravens. Should the Ravens have traded for Quinnen Williams? Hashtag Ravens. Will the Ravens beat the Vikings? Hashtag Ravens. Who's a free agent you think they should sign? All of those great examples. Just use hashtag Ravens. Mike, I did see the rankings. What was I? At like 13th? Mike, I've got a bone to pick with you, bro.
Yeah,
I think I was at 13th, if I remember correctly.
That's been the main talk at the office the past few days.
It has
been the rankings.
Pretty big talk in the office. Let's see, where am I?
I know I was like 10th for producers.
Gage was 10 for producers. I forgot where I was at host. Maybe I was 9. Mike, I'm not going to lie. I'd like to make it in your top 5, but I'm not going to beg here. I'm not going to get on my knees. I'm not going to plead that. I'm my own man. Okay? What are your predictions for the Ravens game, says Nash, man? Great question. We'll get to that later. My predictions right now, I think the Ravens are going to win it. But I think it's going to be an awesome battle. Todd Monken, Brian Flores, great offensive mind, great defensive mind going at it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Do you want the Ravens? Speaking of the Vikings, you want the Ravens to beat them? If you do, hit that thumbs up button and like today's stream. I need at least 12 more likes. Once we get there, we will be able to start our first segment. Can we get there, ladies and gentlemen? Once we do, we're going to start our first segment. Now we need 10 more likes. Thumbs up button. Thumbs up button. Okay? I hear you, Mike. I hear the challenge. I'm not above reproach. I'm coachable. I'm teachable. We need 6 more. Come on, come on, come on. 78 people watching. We're about to get into our first cut, which is our preview of Ravens versus Vikings. Wow, the Ravens have no injuries to report. That's pretty exciting. That's awesome. That is fantastic. We got the 30 likes. Okay, Ravens, Vikings coming up on Sunday, but the preview is coming up right now, so stick around for it. Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. My name is Joey Petersen. I love doing these preview videos for each and every one of you guys. We got a lot to talk about. Coming up, scouting the Vikings. That's where we're going to start. We're going to look at the offense, the defense, what you should expect on Sunday. Then I'm going to give you 5 keys to victory. 5 things I think the Baltimore Ravens need to do if they want to leave Minneapolis with a win. And then up last, I'm going to give you my score prediction. It's going to be a good day. And if you want to make sure Sunday's a good day, hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. If you want to beat the Vikings, like it. Hit that thumbs up. Don't jinx it. It's science. It says so right there. Want the Ravens to walk away victorious? Boom. That's all you got to do. Let's talk about the Vikings. Their head coach, Kevin O'Connell, he is an unbelievable offensive mind. He is a quarterback whisperer. And he's been a really, really good head coach for a number of years in Minnesota. Brian Flores, their defensive coordinator. He is a terrific defensive coordinator. We're actually going to talk a little bit more about that, I believe, in point number 1. The wide receiver talent they have is elite. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, probably the best wide receiver in the NFL, maybe tied with his former college teammate, Jamar Chase. Jordan Mason, he's a nice little thump in the run game. And their defense, it's aggressive, but it's also exotic. Show you exactly why in a second. Chat stats on this game. This one's actually pretty funny. Minnesota has played Baltimore 7 times. In the 3 wins, they have made the NFC title game. And in their 4 losses, they have fired their head coach. So, I think I'm here to tell you, KOC, your days are numbered. Keys to victory. Let's get into it. Number 1, you got to be able to handle the blitz well. This is imperative for Sunday's game. This is imperative anytime you are facing off against Brian Flores. He will blitz the F out of you, okay? I can tell you that with a straight face right now. You're going to see that time and time again on Sunday. When you look at their blitz rate, it is the highest in the National Football League. And it has pretty much consistently been there since Brian Flores has been their defensive coordinator. 42.3%. Their light box rate is 31.3%. That's dead last in the NFL. And on the flip side of that coin, their heavy box rate is 35.4%, which is first. And a big reason why that is because Brian Flores loves to do what we like to call simulated pressures. Here's a couple of examples. He puts just about everybody up to the defensive line as he can to try to disguise his look, disguise who's blitzing, and then he'll choose 2 or 3 of these guys to drop back into coverage, and then they'll just play regular zone. You can see it there against Green Bay. You can see it here against New York. Here's more of a different look than what we showed you in the last ones. You can see it from up high, but basically they put these cornerbacks on an island because they're not really playing, and this is Ravens logo, Gage. They're not really playing man coverage, okay? So you see all of the guys, 8 guys stacked in the box right there, and usually they'll drop 3 or 4 of them back and put 3 or 4 of them into coverage. Now, the good thing about the blitz for the Baltimore Ravens is they've got Lamar Jackson in that quarterback spot, and he has been the best quarterback against the blitz pretty much in NFL history. Okay, since 2023, he's been blitzed 395 times. His completion percentage is 66.2. 3,225 yards, yards per attempt 9.0, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 26 sacks, and a passer rating of 112. One word for that: elite. So it's going to be a fun chess match. The league's best blitzing defense against the league's best blitzing quarterback. Who's going to come out on top? Can't wait to see. Who do you got? Ravens or Vikings? Let me know down below by giving me a BAL or an MIN. If you are rocking with the Ravens, then I better see you and hear you in the comments section. Number 2, make J.J. McCarthy throw the ball. Technically a rookie quarterback, even though it's his second year in the National Football League. He did not play his entire first year because of a knee injury. And he hasn't played much this year either. He's been dealing with an ankle injury. But he has started 3 games, and in those 3 games, he's got a 57.6% completion percentage, 444 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now, you might be saying, Joey, he's 2-1 in those games. Winning a big one against Chicago, winning another big one against Detroit. Yeah, he's won, but guys, he's made a ton of mistakes. 4 interceptions in 3 games, a 56.7% completion percentage. You've got to take the run away. And that starts with making a guy like Jordan Mason a non-factor, okay? Put the ball into J.J. McCarthy's hands, make him throw it to you, and I can promise you this defense is going to be able to create turnovers. And the one thing we've seen about this defense is when they do create turnovers, and when that is a part of this team, then you're usually going to be able to come out on top with a win. Something I want you guys to do to make sure you win in life is download the Prize Picks app. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups when you play only $5. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks, and the hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Lamar Jackson's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. Follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. Here is my Prize Picks lineup for Sunday's game against Minnesota. Give me the more on Lamar Jackson, 37.5 yards, longest completion. Give me the more on J.J. McCarthy, 16.5 rush yards. And go ahead, I'm feeling optimistic. Give me the more on Derrick Henry, 2.5 yards for his longest reception. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and the description of today's video. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. And I put this one in all bold because it is so important. Red zone scoring. Everybody say it with me. Red zone scoring. This is something that you've struggled with this year. Okay? If you look at your red zone scoring, touchdown-wise, 51.85%. That means just over 50% of the time you get in the red zone, that drives inning with a touchdown. That's 23rd best in the National Football League, a.k.a. bottom 10. If you look at the Minnesota Vikings, defensively, they only allow touchdowns 50% of the time. That's 5th best among defenses in the NFL. Monken has got to figure it out. He's got to figure it out, most of all, in my opinion, on the goal line. Because weirdly enough, when this team is inside of the 5-yard line and they got 1st and goal from the 3, they can't put it in the end zone. I do not understand why. They have a better chance of scoring a touchdown from 1st and goal from the 17 than they do from 1st and goal from the 3. I can't figure it out, but it needs to be figured out by the time you're playing on Sunday because you're going up against a really good defense. What's your score prediction of Ravens versus Vikings? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'm going to get my score prediction in at the end of today's show, so stick around to see exactly what that is going to be. Number 4, you got to have the secondary on your P's and Q's, okay? This is everybody. It's Kyle Hamilton. It's Marlon Humphrey. It's Nate Wiggins, because you're going up against probably the best wide receiver duo in the National Football League. Maybe it's T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Maybe it's Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. If it's none of those guys, it's these two. Justin Jefferson so far this year is doing Justin Jefferson things. 47 catches, 649 yards. Only found the end zone twice, but he did play 4 or 5 games with Carson Wentz at QB. 50 yards is his longest. Jordan Addison, his numbers aren't as gaudy as we're used to, but that's because he had to serve a suspension this year. Like, those are 2 studs. And it is time for Nate Wiggins to step up and show us who you are. This feels like it's a massive prove-it game for Nate. Because he's had his chances this year, and he's done really, really well. But he's also going up against the best in the business. So far this season, 158 yards allowed, 3rd lowest among cornerbacks. 66.9 passer rating against 7th lowest. 8.8 yards per reception, 3rd lowest. 1 touchdown allowed, tied for 7th lowest. Nate Wiggins, you got to step up here. You're going to be one-on-one, most likely with Justin Jefferson all day long. Prove to us you're worthy of that first-round pick we gave on you just about a year and a half ago. Number 5, you got to have a balanced attack offensively, okay? I mentioned it a little bit earlier when we were talking about the blitz, but this is when you're at your best as a team, the Baltimore Ravens. This is when Lamar's at his best. Obviously, this is when Derrick Henry's at his best. When you are able to be balanced, you are able, and you do win football games. Flat out, plain and simple. The Minnesota Vikings have struggled to stop the run. If you're going to nag on one thing defensively, it should be their run defense. It's also, if you can't run the ball, allows Lamar Jackson more time to sit back there and pick at their cornerbacks, who, although their defense is really good, their cornerbacks have struggled a little bit this year. Okay, if you look at the PFF grades from them, and you look at things like coverage grade, receptions and targets allowed, yards allowed, touchdowns allowed. Like, guys, Byron Murphy Jr., Isaiah Rodgers, they're struggling a little bit this season. And so, this is the time, man. Be balanced, be good, and you can win this ballgame. You're going to be able to put up points. Even though Brian Flores is a good defensive coordinator, they're going to be able to sack Lamar Jackson. You still will be able to score. Speaking of score, my score prediction, 33-17. I'm back, baby. I'm back. I'm all Ravens. Okay? I said after last one, look, if this team can have another great game defensively against Miami, I said I'd finally be able to pick them under 20 points allowed. And I'm coming true with my promise. 17 points. That's all the Vikings score. Ravens score 33. They win the ball game. Make sure you got me followed on social media. Twitter, Instagram. I'm on both platforms. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/Ravens TV. We're going to be here every single day, probably for the rest of eternity. So we'll see you then. Who you got? Ravens, Vikings. Let me know in the comment section down below. I should see a million BALs, ladies and gentlemen. A million BALs. I guess I'm missing something in chit-chat. Wow. There we go. Electric stuff. Alrighty. We got Papa Shook rocking with the Ravens. Gage, if you notice, the live poll has shifted. Now it's 51% no. Would you have traded Quinnen Williams for a first and second rounder? And 49% yes. Is that a little surprising to you?
That's a bit surprising to me. I thought going into this, Ravens fans, me included, wanted Quinnen Williams.
Yeah.
He was the guy that I think that would help solve all the problems, most of the problems defensively.
Yep.
But to see that they're now going against it, I'm kind of curious as to why that is.
Yeah. I just think, the more people we get, the more things even out. Kind of like, scientific there. But I am surprised it swayed so heavily. Because at one point it was like 68-32, and then now it's 49-51. That's an 18. Is that an 18-point difference? 69 to 68 to 49, 21-point difference.
68 to 51 in favor of. That's like a 17-point
Yeah,
swing
that's
right
crazy,
there.
man.
That's insane.
Nick
though.
says he's awesome, just not worth the picks. Papa Shook says I would have taken QW. We got Fierce Outdoors hanging out with us. What's up, Fierce? Chris also typing those BALs. Tom typing BALs. Papa says he thinks he's worth the price.
I think so too. I mean, you got, like I said, you got to have at least that one risky pick to put you over. I think that was their opportunity, in my eyes.
I don't understand why people say they wanted a Quentin Williams. The first round pick was for 2027 and still would have had him for 3 years. I don't know if that. I don't understand why people say they wanted, but then you give kind of a good amount of reasons for him to stay. Him and Namdi next year would be amazing. Yeah, Papa, they would. I've got some bad news, though. I don't know if Namdi Madubuike is ever playing football again. It's not sounding good, man. It really, really isn't.
That neck injury was pretty scary.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty scary what he's dealing with. Okay, Gage. How we doing on questions? We want to tell people to get some more in? Great. All right. We're about to do our mailbag segment, so make sure you use hashtag Ravens in the chat or super chat to get on today's Q&A. Okay, get on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Use those hashtag Ravens. How many oh, it's at 50-50. 50-50. How many questions do we have, Gage? Usable ones. Okay. Okay, let's get probably 3 or 4 more questions in here. We need 3 or 4 more questions down below. Use those hashtag Ravens. Ask me anything you want. Could be about free agency. Could be a hot take you have. It could be about the AFC North, about the Steelers, about the trade deadline, about the schedule, about the playoffs, about my dog, about how Gage smells, about Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, anything you want. And we need some new people as well. So if you haven't asked one, make sure to get down below in the comment section and do so. Let's see. Pretty good start for our Vols video we just posted. Let me check that out. Okay, not a bad start. Papa Shook, I got a good one. I put a good one in. Come on, chat. Y'all get those questions out. Amen, Papa. Chris. Ooh, good question, Chris. I like that one, Chris. That's a good one, my friend. Jonas Schaefer tweeted, the 2 sweetest sounding sentences for Ravens fans everywhere. The Ravens had no injuries to report on Wednesday. Every player was a full practice participant. And someone replied and said, Fa'alele ACL would be sweeter. Yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah, that sounds good. Sasquatch, good question. Has Nick Manchester asked one yet? Hey, Nick, ask that again, okay? But use hashtag Ravens in it. So that way we can use it. Ooh, Attendant Squad asked me, what is my favorite Marvel movie? I love Captain America Winter Soldier. I love Civil War. I love Avengers. I think I like Infinity War better than Endgame. Hot take. I love all the Spider-Man. Yeah, those are a couple of my favorites. I think Iron Man 3 is really underrated, funny enough. Gage, what about you? Are you a Marvel guy?
Honestly, I'm not a Marvel guy at all.
Okay.
Like, I watched a few of the movies. So I've seen Captain America. I've also seen Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, but that's probably about it.
Great.
But I just say I really like Captain America because I really like the historical aspect that it plays. Like, I'm a big history buff.
There we go.
So like when I see like the World War II side of things, that really got me kind of picked up my interest a little bit.
There we go. Hey, Parker, ask that again, my friend. As same as you, Nick Manchester. Ask both of y'all's questions again, but you got to use hashtag Ravens in the comment, or else we're not going to be able to use it in our mailbag, my friends. Use that one instead of the, yep. Ooh, good. There we go, Nick. Way to make that change. Hey, you're coachable. That's what I like about you, Nick. Yeah, Papa Shook is our executive producer, basically. Shout out to Papa. Okay, Gage, you want to wait a little bit longer? You think we're good to get going? We added. Chris. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's that one like late. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All righty. Ravens mailbag time. Gage, let's get it going right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. My name is Joey Petersen. It's time for our favorite segment of the week. Your questions, my answers, right here. Let's get into it. You guys asked some really good ones this week. I think you're going to like them. And, of course, these all come from the best fans in the National Football League. Can you blow up the comment section for me? I'm going to give y'all a little reward. Most comments on today's video gets a shout out in next Saturday's mailbag. It is in your hands now, okay? Get down below in that comment section. Top commenter gets a shout out on next week's mailbag. All right, let's go ahead and get going with our first question of the day from Nashman Race. Who do you think, or what do you think, will be the final win-loss at the end of the season? That's a good question, Nashman. So right now the Ravens are sitting at 3-5. They started off 1-1, and then they lost 4 straight games, and then they've won the last 2. I think they're going to end the season, I'm going to say 10-7. I think there's 2 more losses in there, but I do believe you're going to get 7 more wins. Okay? I don't know who to who. I'm not qualified to say that, but 10-7 with the way this defense has been playing, with Lamar Jackson back fully healthy, with everybody else back fully healthy as well. Give me 10-7. Boom. Chris, coming up next, do you think that our offensive line is going to hold up for the rest of the year? Is it bad to say that, like, I wouldn't mind if it didn't? I would love to see Emory Jones get a shot. That might be naive of me. That might be stupid of me. Frankly, I don't care. I just don't know how much worse it could be than what Daniel Falele is trotting out there every single Sunday. Guys, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but it feels like every single week there is a play or two where you look and he's just laying on the ground. He's just laying on the ground for no reason. He probably got sleepy. That's it. So, I would not mind if he got a shot. Would not mind if Ben Cleveland got a shot either. This is why I was really big on trading for Kevin Zeitler at the deadline, because I thought he could have just been plug and play and been perfect for your team for the rest of the season. But alas, they didn't make the move. They didn't make that trade. And for some reason, they still feel confident in this front five, although they've pretty much given them every reason not to be. Next up, attendance squad. Hashtag Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Henry is starting to pick up the pace, especially with the card back. How many yards and touchdowns will the King get against the Vikings? Oh, let's go 103 yards. And I'm going to say 2 touchdowns, okay? 103 yards, 2 touchdowns for Derrick Henry against the Vikings, because the Vikings have a really good defense. Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator, but they do struggle from time to time with stopping the run, and so I do believe that Derrick Henry has a big day. Mike the Cinemaster, are the races going to be Ravens? Are the races going to give Zay a lot of catches, or is he not viable for fantasy? Ravens, okay, not races. I believe that he's viable and a viable option for fantasy. I'm going to tell you this. I think Zay Flowers' 2 best games this year are going to come against the Steelers, okay? Because the Steelers like to play something called man free. where they blitz 5 defensive linemen. And what that does is it leaves their cornerbacks in man, one-on-one, on an island with wide receivers. Well, I think that Zay Flowers is going to benefit heavily from that because he's such a great route runner and he causes such great separation between him and his cornerbacks. And so, if you have Zay Flowers on your fantasy team and you want to know which games are going to be his best for the rest of the year, I would bet on both of the Pittsburgh games. Sleepy EDC. Should the Ravens sign Christian Wilkins after missing out on a defensive tackle? So if you missed it, the Ravens at the trade deadline, I was very much leaning towards them adding at defensive tackle. They ended up not, and Christian Wilkins is still available. And if you think of free agent defensive tackles, Christian Wilkins is probably the most talented one that's available right now. I just don't know if he's worth the headache that would come with adding him. He had some things kind of going on, some reasons the Raiders were parting ways with him that were a little bit weird, and the locker room didn't love him that much. I just don't really feel like adding that to this locker room that already seems pretty fragile. Like, this team started out 1-5. If they face a little bit more adversity, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull themselves out of it. So Christian Wilkins, he's a great talent. And if I could just add the talent perspective and just put him on the field every game day and that be it, I would do it. But if I had to add him to the locker room, I would say no. What would you do with Christian Wilkins? S for sign, P for pass. You let me know in the comments section down below. Okay? What would you do with a defensive tackle? Let me know your answer. If you're looking for how to have the most fun while watching football this weekend, the answer to that question is using our friends over at Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click, whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. How you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Here are my Prize Picks for Sunday's game against Minnesota, and we talked about that flex play. What that means is this exactly. I'm going to give you an example with mine. Say Lamar Jackson completes a pass for 45 yards. Great. The more, boom, that hit. Say J.J. McCarthy runs for 20 yards. Boom, the more, that hit. Say Derrick Henry does not catch a single ball. So that would be less on his 2.5 yards longest reception. I chose more. If you power play it, no money won. Zilch. If you flex play it, you still win money even though you miss a pick. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Nick Manchester coming up next. Sick last name. What's the likelihood of Isaiah Likely and Keaton Mitchell getting re-signed? Very, very likely for Isaiah Likely. Keaton Mitchell, is Keaton Mitchell's contract up? I don't believe that. I don't think he's in a contract year. Is he? Oh, he signed a 3-year deal. Yeah, okay. Sorry, my bad. I forgot. UDFA. So, that's a 3-year deal. And back in 2023. Wow. Time has really flown. I think Isaiah Likely will be re-signed. Wow, this is a chaotic question right here. Isaiah Likely will be re-signed. Keaton Mitchell, excuse me, I would lean towards not. And not because I don't think that he's a really good running back. I just believe that the Ravens, for some reason, are not seeing his value. Oh, man. This is what we got. We bring you guys every day. Anyway, I'm going to answer your question quickly, Nick, before I sneeze again. Likelihood for Isaiah Likely getting re-signed, high. For Keaton Mitchell getting re-signed, low, unfortunately. Papa Shook coming in next. If Lamar keeps up this play and wins out, 14 touchdowns to 1 pick, 4.5 games is ridiculous. Does he have a shot at MV3? That's a great question. I don't know. I think maybe because, Daniel Jones is probably the leader right now, and I feel like he's going to fall off a cliff at some point. He just did against Pittsburgh. Jonathan Taylor, I think, is a realistic chance, but also it's kind of a quarterback award we've seen as of recently. Patrick Mahomes is playing really good ball. He's obviously going to be someone you have to beat. You already have more touchdowns thrown than Josh Allen, and you've missed 3 games if you're Lamar Jackson. So I don't think he's a threat. Joe Burrow's injured for the whole year. And so I think there's a chance. I don't think it's a great chance, but I do think there is a chance. Tom S., what do you think the longest field goal attempt by Loop is this year? I think he makes one and hits one from 61 yards, Tom. That is a hot take, and I'm sticking with it. Steve Loop, his dad, very, very strong and loyal supporter of us here at the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. Hope he likes that hot take. Number 1 draft prospect for the Ravens this year. Great question. You got to go defensive line. And I would prefer you go defensive tackle. The Clemson Tigers have a couple of interior defensive tackles that I really, really like. Obviously, it is, November. I haven't really started a ton of my draft prep. But those are 2 guys to keep an eye on. And, those are the names I'll give you right now. Thank you so much for the question, Parkle. We really do appreciate it. Our next question is coming up from... We're going to get it 1 second from Mr. Gage. Sasquatch16. Would Asante Samuel Jr. improve the Ravens secondary, or is he washed an injured player? I think Asante Samuel Jr. would improve this secondary. I don't think he's washed. He's young. Now, we don't know about the injury, but that's why you want to bring him in for a visit. Unfortunately, the Baltimore Ravens are not one of the multiple teams that are bringing him on a visit. The Panthers are, the Vikings are, the Bears are, the Steelers are, and the Packers are. He's got visits from Thursday of a couple days ago and all the way up until Tuesday, I believe. So, unfortunately, the Ravens aren't in on those. I wish they were. Doesn't hurt to bring somebody in for a visit. Obviously, cornerback is not their biggest need, but I do still believe it is a need. I think he's going to be a good player. Whoever ends up landing him, I think is going to get lucky with that one. Speaking of Marvel movies, says Chris, which Marvel character would the Ravens be? It's a good question. I think originally I would have said like Spider-Man, because I just think of the Ravens, I think of Lamar Jackson, I think of athleticism, I think of speed, I think of like bendiness. I think of Spider-Man. Like they're not they're not the Hulk, they're not Thor, they're not Iron Man. I think Spider-Man's a good one. And last question, at For the Bushes. Should the Ravens sign Asante Samuel Jr.? Similar question we got earlier, but a little bit different. I think they should. I think they should at least bring him in for a workout. Unfortunately, they're not right now, but if they ended up doing that, I would not be mad about it. But there's already enough teams being interested. It's going to be one of the 5 teams he's visiting. Should the Ravens sign ASJ? Let me know in the comment section down below by giving me a yes or a no. A little bit of a chaotic mailbag today. We're sorry. My allergies got the best of me, but I'm still going to give you guys the best of me every single day. So make sure you got me followed on social media. Make sure you subscribe right here at the Baltimore Ravens Rundown. Daily content on your favorite team. All righty. That's going to do it for today's show. What's up, Jarmo? Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for everybody who got their questions in. Attendant Squad asked Joey, what are your thoughts on Tyler Loop so far this season? I think he's done well. He just feels like he has not gotten a lot of attempts, Gage. Am I the only one who thinks that way?
Being as a fantasy owner of Tyler Loop, I can attest.
Yeah,
he hasn't got many attempts.
13 attempts. He's 12 for 13. He's great percentage-wise. But those 13 attempts, let me look up NFL kicker stats. It's got to be low on the attempts.
He has massively improved from preseason to now. That much I will say. Like week 1 of the preseason, we saw he looked okay, but then after that he picked it up pretty quickly. So I think he's really finding his groove, and who knows, maybe a few years he may be one of the better kickers in the National Football League.
Yeah, he is. He's bottom of the league in attempts. They just haven't been kicking a lot of field goals. That's because 3 games when Lamar Jackson was out, they really didn't cross the 50-yard line.
But I like him. I really like him.
Too.
I enjoy having him.
Yeah. Okay, that's going to do it. Carter asks, is Kyle Van Noy back? Yes, he is. He practiced today. Everybody practiced today. Alrighty, thank you so much for being with us. A little bit short of a show today. It's because we were with y'all for 3 hours yesterday. and we're going to be with you guys for like 4 hours on Sunday. So I'll see you then. For producer Gage, my name's Joey Petersen. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and God bless.